The couples that be on social media,
those
be the ones that be cheating in DMs.
Hey, elevators. Welcome back to another episode. We are back again, and we're going to have a really good show. Before we get into our topic, girl, I know we are shooting pretty early. People don't know what time it is right now.
I am exhausted. Amanda is thriving. This is her power hours in the morning. I'm a night owl. I'm half asleep, so bear with me.
I am a morning person, y'all. I really don't. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I really want to be a morning person, but I feel like I've always kind of been. But yeah, this is probably a time that I'm thriving. Speaking of thriving, girl, I don't know if you've been seeing it on social media, but us girls got to give ourselves a pat on the back because 2016 is trending, and a lot of my friends still look the same from 2016.
Oh, I'm scared to look at any photos of me in 2016. I just know they all have that Snapchat filter. I know
with the flower crown.
No, I was
the dog filter.
I love the dog filter. It was so cute.
By the way, the dog filter is back. They brought it back for nostalgia purposes. They brought it back.
I just feel like, does it hit the same though?
I think Snapchat is definitely I feel like where it's at a little bit more. It's like where it's at now. People are using the app a lot more, but it feels the same. I used it. I was like, oh, this just reminded me of 2016. When you use those dog filters and the flower filter, the world just felt easy.
A better place.
Yeah. It felt easier.
Summer, 2016, that's when Drake dropped Summer.
Hotline Bling was a popular song during 2016.
It wasn't Summer 16?
I think it was Summer 16. Hotline Bling, yep.
Mm-hmm. Hotline Bling came out in 2016. It's crazy.
2016. I was looking it up. I'm The Life of Pablo album was out that time.
Oh,
there was so many oh my gosh. Fetty Wap. Remember Fetty Wap?
Remember Fetty Wap. He sure did have a run.
Not remember Fetty Wap for real, but when he first came out, that was around that time. I was looking at a 2016 playlist of songs that came out, and I was like, this didn't feel like that long ago. It's kind of crazy.
So funny how trends go from one small thing to this one really big thing. I'm sure people are putting together 2016 playlists now just to bring bring themselves back to that time. I also think it's funny how we do that as human beings. In retrospect, we're always oh my God, that time was so good. It wasn't that bad. But when you're in the moment, sometimes things feel so draining and there's not an end of the tunnel. And little do you know, you're having the best time of your life.
Facts. And you know what I think it is too? People need a break from reality. So I feel like we're using 2016 right now to go back to when life felt so much easier than what it is right now. Because it just feels like we need something to take the edge off. Remember when people were doing the cigarette thing? We just need a little something to take the edge off. That's how this social media trend is kind of taking a wave. But speaking of trends, I think we should jump right on into hot topics. But before we do that, make sure you guys are commenting, and subscribing to our platform, podcast, YouTube, wherever that you are listening to our podcast. And also leave comments, reviews, and the SpeakPipe. Y'all, we want to hear from you. So definitely tap into the SpeakPipe. But girl, the news has been jumping this week.
Yes. Wait, before we jump into the news, I just want to say every time I step outside, somebody says they listen to this podcast, and I'm going to need y'all in our SpeakPipe. Okay. Come tell us in our SpeakPipe. Go ahead. Sorry. Okay. News.
So a couple of things came out, and just to kind of give you guys a taste of what we're going to be talking about, our podcast is going to be on relationships. As you know, we talk about relationships on the show, whether it's friendships or, monogamous relationships, but this is going to be a relationship episode. But there was a couple of things that came out. So A$AP Rocky did a podcast. It's called the Popcast. It's a New York Times podcast where he talked about music and also tapped into his relationship. Then, as we know, Christy, Sarah, and Desmond are on the rocks. So that's something else that came out. So I was talking to Crystal, and I'm like, girl, Vogue put out an article late last year about, is having a boyfriend
embarrassing?
Is it embarrassing? So I just feel like this is so on brand for this podcast episode. I know that it came out late last year, but it still resonates, and I feel like it still makes sense for us to talk about it today. So let's tap into the A$AP Rocky thing. He just had a new album come out, and one of the key points of the art of his actual interview, he touched on his relationship. He's a father of 3 now. He is in a relationship with the billionaire, the big Rihanna, okay?
Hello.
And he was saying how, women really are wired so differently that they really will like let you realize who's really your friend and who's not. And I was like, I felt that because we really have like our significant others, our boyfriends, our friends, our husbands, their best interests and heart. Our intuition and our discernment can pinpoint when something is for you and when it's against you.
Mhm.
So he touched on that. He was saying how, like, you know, he's happy that he was able to be in this relationship with her now because he can appreciate it a lot more than, you know, maybe let's say some years back because he probably wasn't ready for that type of relationship. So
Yeah.
I was really happy that he said that because it's real. Like, I know I do it sometimes. I'll be like, this person is not your friend. That person, I don't know, watch out for them because you just get the vibes. Even if you don't know the ins and outs of somebody, we just really have that intuition about
You know
us.
what it is? It's because like not only do we have intuition and discernment, but like when when you're with your partner, you're seeing things from a different angle. It's like what is it in filming where it's like the third wall or something like that? It's like you're
Mhm.
seeing things from that angle where you're like, "Oh no, I see the plays that are happening here and like this is what you should do." Especially cuz you obviously you have your partner's like best interest at heart. But it's so dope to see like men who are in the spotlight coming from that perspective, like, yo, being married is cool, being monogamous is cool. Like,
Mhm.
just promoting that energy, especially in the sort of tone of society we live in today where everybody is
Kinda like irreplaceable, right? Like,
no, I
it's
was gonna say everybody is driven and navigated by social media, which is super scary because social media is obviously we all know this, but like is not real life. And even like down to like how they date and stuff like that. They let social media play into it so much, whether it's like women only going out with men for a meal or men, you know, saying we gotta split the bit, like whatever it is, like those are just some things that came off the top of my head. But whatever it is, people allow like the conversations on social media to really dictate what happens in their real life and it's scary. So, anyways, I think it's dope to hear somebody in his position talk about how positive it is to like, you know, be settled down, be in a monogamous relationship. And I mean, I just think they go together real bad. Like
yeah.
they seem like Rihanna has always seemed like a very real, like down to earth person. So it comes as no surprise that, you know, she's dating somebody who's like super down to earth, like
Mhm.
ASAP Rocky. You know?
Yeah, I agree, I agree. I want us to learn a lesson here as we're gonna talk about, like, the next topic. We have to stop idolizing relationships that we know nothing about on the internet. We
True.
need to take a step back. I think we can appreciate things, right? We can appreciate that they're doing well and that, you know, they're just in a positive light online. But when people break up or when people, like, separate on the internet, I think that we as a society, as you're online, we have to, like, stop thinking, like, these things can't happen. Like, people break up every day. Like, people break up every day, B. Like, people don't stay in relationships. It's okay. But I
Yeah.
think it's just it's weird to me when I see people on the internet and they're, like, idolizing relationships and people that don't even know them, number 1, that also they know nothing about.
Honestly, it's so crazy. I always talk about this with my boyfriend, like, being a social media couple in general is it's just scary because obviously, like,
Yeah.
when you're consuming videos and stuff like that, you're always seeing, like, the good side, so when you hear something like, "Oh, such and such is splitting up," you're like, "No way," because you forget that they're, like, real human beings and all you see is positivity, which is why, like, what we consume is so crazy because it really does dictate the way you think about things in the slightest ways, and you don't even realize it. So, anyways, Desmond and Christy Scott, aka Christy Sarah, are getting a divorce. They have been together for I think 16 years since they were like 14,
Mhm.
and they are officially getting a divorce because he cheated. And a lot of mixed feelings, a lot of opinions, why which is why it's so hard to be, like, a couple in the public eye because you're instantly opening up yourself to scrutiny, whether you like it or not. So they are getting a divorce. There was a video that surfaced online of him making out with a girl in a club, and people are speculating, like, you know, he made a whole Instagram post talking about, like, how he previously asked Christy for a divorce and she didn't want one. So, you know, he went about things in the wrong way and he shouldn't have cheated, but you know, he always wanted out of the relationship. It was crazy because it was like he just really had to talk. which is funny in itself. Like, he just had to say something. He didn't stay quiet, but Christy has been quiet as a mouse. As you already know, us girls, we know what to do, you know?
Yeah,
So
and I was gonna say, yeah, actually, I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram, but she recently said something about her being in the same address. So I know
mhm.
that was definitely her team's doing potentially where they were like, "Girl, we know this is going on, but we need you to say something." And then I just seen on the internet that Desmond put something about being in a totally new address or something like that. You guys can look on the socials and see exactly what it was, but they both basically posted them living in 2 separate areas to, like,
Yeah.
really confirm and put the nail in the coffin that this is kind of like an end of an era.
When I heard the news, though, I was like, "Please don't let this be PR," because I'm sorry, they are that couple. Like, they are the couple. I mean, you see in their videos, "Chrissy," like, that's just how they are. They're, like,
Yeah.
very, like, staged, which is
Mhm.
fine. It's like rage bait.
Mhm.
However, I was like, "Please don't let this," because like, that's just one of them things that, like, you can't play with, but I don't think it's PR now. Like, now that, like,
Yeah.
videos have surfaced and stuff, I'm like, "Ooh, that's crazy."
Yeah.
But anyways, I think the bigger question here is like how seeing, some couples do really well, like ASAP Rocky and Rihanna so far, and then some couples do well and then fall off, like Desmond and Christy. It really shapes, like I said, the way we act. Like as users of social media, in terms of like, are we posting our man? Are we not posting our man? You always, the soft launch always happens. It's like a little
Yeah.
hand and a little arm. Then you get the profile, like little by little, and it's so crazy how these things
Yeah.
like really shape the way we act with ourselves and our personal life. And I think that as somebody who uses social media, I am hyper private about things in my relationship because of that. Because I don't want nobody's opinion. Because we be fighting. Because we don't be fighting. You get what I'm saying? Like my
Mhm.
relationship is very real. So I try to be very cognizant of like what I post, when I post,
Mhm.
and like just not being transparent because that's one of those things where it's like my relationship, I don't need to be transparent. And I could
Yeah.
feel Christy and Desmond like in terms of not sharing like the negative side and like the arguments or whatever, because not everybody wants to share the transparency in their relationship, you know?
Yeah, though that's a real feeling, and you know what? I kinda wanna relate it back to, like, us working in the media industry for a second before we jump into the article because I feel like I don't know about you, but I feel like there was a such thing, like, coming up and I used to hear this all the time about, like, just different celebrities where there was, like, an ageism thing or there was, like, a relationship thing where people didn't speak about, like, their age or didn't speak about being in relationships because they may have appeared unfavorable to their fans or people that support them.
Mhm.
I think for myself, a lot like you, I feel the same way. I'm like, my relationship is very real. It has its highs and its lows. And at this point in my life, I also am not signing up to be like a family or relationship Instagram.
Content
Like I
creator?
feel content creator. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think also on the flip side of that, I just be, like, deleting things, like, I'm just not in the space that if something goes wrong, I have to delete pictures or I have to delete this person and exit them out of my life. I know there's some people that are so carefree, and I wish I could have that kind of attitude when it relates to, like, relationships online, but I'm
Mhm.
just super private as well, and, I know we probably both have our own reasonings for why we are like that as it relates to relationships, but I just feel like some things, like, I really do genuinely feel and it's not even just, my man or being in a relationship. It's even with family sometimes. I don't wanna share, like, certain family aspects online because it's something that's so precious and sacred to me that I'm like, it's
Mhm.
not for everybody. It's not for just regular consumer consumption for me.
So, like,
But
not everybody knows to know not everybody needs to know how many men you done had in the last 2 to 3 years. That's a whole 'nother, like, ball game of scrutiny
yeah,
where people are like, "Oh my gosh, she's dating somebody else new now," or whatever the
yeah,
case may be. Like, sometimes you don't need people in your business like that.
yeah. No, I agree, I agree. I remember when they were, like, getting on Lori Harvey about, like, her dating timeline and the different people she talked to, but I do feel like people should date how they want, but I agree with you. Like everybody doesn't need to be in your business. So this is just so funny, and well, not the divorce aspect, but this is just so funny that we're talking about this topic because Vogue put out an article in October for the British Vogue, and Shantae Joseph was the person who wrote the actual article, and the article was literally titled "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" And
Yes.
in the article,
Yeah, short answer, yes.
'Cause it
If
was
you
a
don't get the right
question.
one, yes, you're gonna
If you
embarrass you.
don't get the right one, yes, that is true. But in the article, she was more or less phrasing it as like a question to women because she's seen online, like you mentioned, a lot of people would post like the hand or the shoulder or the silhouette, or like, somebody was with another man. They may have 2 wine glasses at a table, but you never knew who said man was. And a lot of women, I think she talked to different women, a lot of them were saying like they didn't want to deal with the embarrassment of like posting this man, having to delete things, or just wanting to be overall private. And you guys do your own digging into the article. We'll definitely leave a link in our bio of the article. But it just brings us to a great podcast topic because I think we both offer a very interesting perspective on this conversation, being that we're in the social media and media space and we both are in relationships. So I gotta ask, we both agree that it is embarrassing, but why do we feel like it's embarrassing to have a boyfriend right now? Or
You know what?
why?
Separately from the fact that even a golden retriever is a dog, um,
I
I think
don't think they're
that
gonna catch that. I don't
oh,
think.
they better catch that. Run that back, okay? But I think that I mean, because not all men are dogs, but even the good ones, they still dogs sometimes, but in their own way. But anyways,
Right.
so I think that the real reason we are embarrassed is because we are scared of a public breakup and what that comes with. I think that right now we live in a time where women are very independent, which is great. But with that, I think inherently we have become a little more cold, and it's very vulnerable to share your relationship online because people see
Mhm.
that you're in love and you're like, oh my God, like, like they see the sweet side of you. And it's just like a different, very like intimate space that you're letting people into. And I think that, again, right now, women are very independent. So
Yeah.
it's even more sacred to us now. Like back in the day, women were always like, oh my God, I got a husband. And like it was like their gold star. But now
Mhm.
we're like, okay, we got other things going on and like relationships and stuff and like that is a bit more secondary, but it's even more sacred to us
Yeah,
now,
I
in my
agree.
opinion, because nobody wants to go through a heartbreak, publicly. It's embarrassing. Even going through a heartbreak, and your family knowing about it, that alone feels very embarrassing. So I think that we do soft launches and stuff like that because we're just making sure that the men are who they say they are, but also we're like protecting ourselves, protecting our hearts, protecting our character, and protecting like our vulnerability.
Yeah, and don't break up with that man and you be Caribbean. They're gonna be asking you about that man. They're gonna be asking you about that man every single holiday. No, but I do agree with you. I think that what's so interesting? I feel like I've always been private as it relates to my relationship. Like when I was in college, I think I posted my boyfriend at the time. But after college, like a little bit on the latter end of that, I feel like I was always like a super private relationship type of person because of that. Because yes, I do think men are embarrassing a lot of the times. But I think that when something is not permanent, it's even more embarrassing because it's like boyfriend is not husband. There's levels, right? And not to say a husband can't be embarrassing because they can, but I do think that if something you don't know is going to last forever, why do I need to share it with everybody? And I just think to your
Well,
point,
I would dispute that with like, well, if you don't think it's gonna last forever, why are you even wasting your time?
well, I'm saying in the moment, like not in the moment, like you don't go into relationships thinking like, oh, this one's not going to last.
Mhm.
But also like I'm in my 20s. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think any of the men I dated in my 20s was my husband, but I was dating. Like I was
Oh,
casually dating, right? I was in relationships. I wasn't in relationships. Some relationships felt more closer to that than others, but at the
okay.
core, at my true core, dang, I'm saying a lot. I didn't really think those were my husbands.
No,
That's
I
just
feel that, I feel
me.
that.
That's
No,
just
you're right.
me.
I
You
get
know what
that
I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
I also was dating in a different mindset. Like, think about it. When I was in my 20s, like, I was in New York. I was like hustling. I was trying to get it. Like, I wasn't in like a mind state where I was like, oh, like, I want to settle down right now. You know what I mean? Maybe like a little bit before I moved to like that. In between, after
Mhm.
college, right before I moved to New York, maybe I felt like that. But when I got to New York, I was like, no, that's not what I'm focused on right now. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do think that. I think something that doesn't feel permanent just never, to me, felt like it should go online. Now, in the close friends, yes. Like, do my close friends know what's going on? Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's fine. I think it's okay to keep some stuff to yourself.
Going back
That's
to
just me.
embarrassing, I think one, coming off of the Christy Sarah stuff, what was most embarrassing is like him cheating because obviously
Yeah.
we automatically like feel like, dang, wasn't me. What did I do? Like it almost organic, like naturally not the blame, but eyes go to, oh, what's wrong with this person? Like, why did she get cheated on? Or why did he get cheated on? And I think that's a part of like the embarrassment, quote unquote. So my question for you is, have you ever been cheated on and did you feel embarrassed?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like more women have been cheated on than they'd like to admit. But yeah, for myself, yeah, I have been. And was it embarrassing? It was embarrassing, but also I was just disgusted. Like you ever just look at somebody and you just like disgusted with them? Like I feel like
Absolutely.
the person I'm literally thinking about, my ex at the time, I think he was kind of like insinuating the cheating as a flex. And I
Mhm.
was just more or less like, that's not gonna keep me here. Like that's not gonna make me stay here. So
That's
I'll
weird.
paint the picture for you guys a little bit. So me and this person and it was done so like tasteless, and we were out of town. And this is how embarrassing men really are. My ex at the time flew me to a different state. This is a serious relationship, by the way, because he wanted us to look at houses. Okay. I'm painting the picture for you guys. He wanted us to look at houses to move into together. Like he was thinking this was like a forever thing, right? Or we
Mhm.
both were moving in that space. And something happened on the trip. It went left, and we both kind of got into an argument. And that night that we got into the argument, he went out like to the club or like went out with his friends or whatever. The
Mhm.
next morning, we're both still fighting because I'm like we're arguing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Then he gets a text message and it's from a girl, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, it was so great seeing you last night." Da, 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 da. And I'm like,
No.
we're not even home. Like we're out of state. Did I tell you? I'm just repeating that part for you guys. Looking at
That's
houses, right? So I'm like, you gonna cheat? You gonna take me? Like it was just like it was ridiculous. And I'm sure like there's been so many other crazy stories, right? But that one was really like very, very ridiculous to me because I'm like, just the optics. Like I'm literally
He
going to
needs
another state to look.
therapy.
Girl, it was just bad. Like at that point, I was like, absolutely not. Like I'm out. Like I just can't. Like this is not no. So to
No,
answer your
he
question,
literally
yes,
needs therapy. Cause what the hell?
girl, yeah. So to answer your question, yes, I have been cheated on. Is it embarrassing? Yes. Is it hurtful? Absolutely. Have I dealt with heartbreak more times than I'd like to admit? But what
Yeah.
I love about us women is just our resilience and how we're able to overcome these situations. Like even with the Desmond and Christy Sarah thing, they're going to overcome it. They're both going to probably, figure it out, whether they get back together or
Mhm.
they find other significant others. These things don't last forever. And I think that that's something that I've learned from every situation where there was infidelity is like, in the moment, we feel like it's the whole world, right? But looking back on hindsight, like this was so long ago, the story I'm just telling you guys,
Mhm.
I could care less. I could tell it to you guys like jokingly because I'm like, this man really like yes, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But I feel like once you heal and you get over the hump and you like really get past it, there's definitely like, light at the end of the tunnel for anybody that's
Mhm.
going through infidelity right now. But I'm gonna pose the same question to you. Like, have you ever dealt with that and like how did you feel?
Yeah. So I felt a lot of things. Not only I felt embarrassed, I felt played,
Hmm.
and I also felt like I'm the type of person I always take a lesson out of something and I said, "Oh, blah, 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 blah. Can't trust nobody and I don't want no more friends." So let me tell you what happened.
Hmm.
This was when
Wait,
I was really
friends?
young.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So this is when I was really young, and it just really taught me how not no more friends, but like it really taught me how to navigate people at our arms like distance. So basically, I was super young, and I had this like little boyfriend or whatever, and there was a girl in my neighborhood who like all the kids in my neighborhood knew each other, hung out, whatever. She growing up, she wasn't necessarily like my friend. I just knew who she was. She was friends with like some people that I was friends with, but she had like a boyfriend and they were together for a long time. And long story short, fast forward, her and the boyfriend break up. Like him and I were, like, just talking or whatever, and she found out, and she was like, "Oh my god, like, that's so crazy." I'm like, "Girl, we're literally, like, not friends. I just know you,
Mhm.
whatever." Um and fast forward, I mean, she dates somebody else. Fast forward time some more. Now I'm in like this relationship and like I go to school in a completely different area that's not in my neighborhood. And fast forward a little more, then my boyfriend at the time gets transferred to a school in my neighborhood. And, her and I are like, now we're cool. Like now we're like talking and now we're like, creating a little bit of relationship. And she was like, "Oh, like, can you like, come over and, like, dye my hair?" I was like, "Oh, yeah." Like, I've always been so, like, hands-on and, like, good at everything. So, I was like, "Yeah, I'll come over, like, I'll dye your hair." No, honestly, like, I would've been, um, a hairstylist if anything else fails, 'cause, like, I'm really good with hair. But anyways,
I believe you.
so,
I believe you.
um, so fast forward, I go over, I dye this girl's hair red. Fast forward, weeks pass by or whatever, like, we're so cool, but I this is blurry. My best friend at the time tells me that she was told by my boyfriend at the time's best friend that he cheated. And I'm like, "What? That's crazy." And they're like, "Yeah, like, he cheated with some girl in that new school, like, in your neighborhood, like, some redhead, like, white girl, whatever, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "That's wild." Like, I ended up bringing it to his attention, and I'm like, "Yo, like, who's this redhead, whatever?" Like, and I don't remember what it was, but no, I think he ended up telling me. I was I made him tell me who it was, and he told me the name, and I was like, "Wait, from my neighborhood?" And he was like, "Wait, you know her?" And I'm like, "You're such a clown." Like, I think he had, like, something
What?
like a name of mine on him because long story short, what happens was, I guess, like, he was hanging out in the neighborhood, like, after school, you would just hang out, and she had seen A, pictures on social media, that we were
Mm.
together, and B, like, seeing him in person. I think he had, like, something of mine that she was able to identify, and because of that, she pushed up on him. So, I was like, "You're a clown." Because
Wow.
she just used you as a pawn, and then she had told him, like, "Oh," like, she literally just straight up was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to get back at her for dating such and such." Years later, after I done dyed this girl's hair red, and now this is the redhead that I am being cheated on with, and she
What?
used him as a pawn just to get back at me, and I was like, "Wait, girl, we were, like, in middle school. What, are you crazy?"
That's crazy.
So weird. So that just really told me, like, A, I ain't dyeing nobody's hair no
Yeah,
more
because
ever
I'm
again.
like, what did you do to like, why would first of all,
I
that's
started putting 2 to 2 together. I'm like, "Wait, redhead? She says she knows me." I'm like, Is this? No way. I was just with her a couple weeks ago, and there was no animosity. All of a sudden, like, you fake wanna get back at me about something, like, girl, you're weird."
people
And
are
I
weird.
just child, I just now that really taught me how to navigate people who are not, like, my close friends. Won't
Girl,
happen again.
it's scary, and you know what? I think I've talked about me losing a friend over a man before. That's probably another cheating story. You guys have to probably go look at that episode. But
Oh
yeah,
god,
you'd be
yeah.
surprised. Some people that are your friends are really jealous of you, and they really, like
Mhm.
you don't really
Facts.
realize it sometimes, but some people really want what you have and want, like, to experience things that you experience, and it's kinda scary because you don't really some of these people could be close friends. Like, I've heard
Mhm.
plenty of stories like that. So, it's
Which
true
is
what they
wild.
say. They say I don't know if this is, like, a Caribbean thing or whatever, but, like, you don't tell certain aspects of your man with your homegirls or with your friends. Like, you don't share every detail because some people may
Yeah.
look at their situation like, "Well, I don't have that. I'm not experiencing that." And then
Mhm.
you done opened up a can of worms.
I
I
have a
agree.
question.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pose a scenario, and you tell me where you stand on it,
Okay.
okay?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I have some in my mind too that I wanna post to you. So let's do it.
Okay. So, he's your boyfriend, but you never post him. What do you
True.
think about that?
True, because that's how I currently operate. I post my boyfriend, close friends, like I told you, like it's like the people who need to know, they know. However, I don't not post my boyfriend online because like I'm embarrassed or I don't want to share it or anything like that. But I'm very much a girl who is private. And I think the things that mean the most to me, I don't want to have to feel like I need to share it. I feel like my social media is very much like personal branding. Like it's me who I am. Like I want people to get to know me. I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
oh, my boyfriend becomes my whole personality. Like I don't want any of those lines to be blurred or to cross. And also, I do think that people are nosy. Like, people just really want to know your business. And it's not because they may have the best interest at heart. People do prey on your downfall. Let's also be very mindful of that. Then the last part is, like, if I'm married, will I make it a public thing? More than likely, yes. Like, I think that that's more permanent, right? When you're married, well, hopefully we want it to be permanent, right?
According to today's topic, it's not that permanent.
I know, but I'm gonna be
But yes, you would
like,
hope that it's permanent.
yes,
Yeah.
I'm the hopeless.
Sorry,
the
we're not
hopeless
laughing at Christy. We're
No,
just laughing
not at
'cause
all. The
men are
hopeless
terrible.
romantic and the trying to be super positive person that I am. Like, of course, you want the best for you and with your relationship. So yeah, I think that I love when girls pop out and they're married, and you're like, dang, you had a boyfriend, you were in a relationship. I love that. I love the soft launches when they're
Mhm.
engaged. Like, that is like my favorite thing. So I got one for you.
I'm with you on that, but for me, I do think if you don't even post signs, that's a red flag.
No, yeah.
That's the
Absolutely.
short answer.
Absolutely.
Like, at least flower, like, you know, like, you gotta at least post signs that there's somebody in your life, because that to me is where it becomes secretive. There's a very thin line there. But okay, you go.
Absolutely. So this is a scenario I want to give you. Soft launching on social media after 6 months. What's your take?
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm soft launch mommy. Like, you gonna see signs. You know the meme where
There
it's
will be
like, if I hit the
signs.
lotto, there will be signs. There will be signs. There will be signs.
They're
But
gonna be an arm, a hand, something. You gonna know.
but even when I'm like, my man is just so private, and like, he don't even have social media. He don't be tripping, which I appreciate, because we talk about this all the time. Like, the couples that be on social media,
Those are
those
the
be the ones that
worst.
be cheating in DMs. You don't know how many times somebody will message me and they are married. Yo, you have to be, men, I don't like that. I really
Listen,
don't. Okay, I got one for you.
men are so embarrassing, for real. This article
Do
is
you
so on
think
point.
posting your boyfriend ruined your brand?
No, I don't
'Cause
think that at all.
you brand mommy.
Yeah, I don't think posting my boyfriend ruins my brand at all. I feel like being in love is a beautiful thing. I think that people should want to spread that even more. I think when I shared like that me and my boyfriend, we both equally don't post. And by the way, there's, like you said, there's signs. If you really do enough digging on my page, my boyfriend is on several posts on my page. I'm on his page.
Find them.
Yeah, like, you can find it. However, we're not like in your face with it. And here's also, you want to know also my reasoning for that? So to answer your question, no, I don't feel like it ruins my brand. I think that love is who I am. Like, I think that it's a part of just me as a person. Like, I'm just a very loving person. So why not want to show that I'm also too in love, right? Why not? Why wouldn't I want to share that? And again, I think it's more or less it's a more permanent, like, marriage or ring. Like, yes, absolutely. I'll be definitely more open to that. But I think in this climate right now, a lot of people are going through it. Like, they're not in relationships. A lot of people are sad that they're not in relationships. A lot of women are struggling to date because the dating pool is just like, girl, like, it's just horrible. So I also come from the notion of, I don't want to be so showy with, oh my God, look at me. Like, this is what I'm going through, or these are the highs of my relationship or the lows of my relationship, when there's people that are struggling to even find a partner. Like, there's people that are struggling that want to be in a relationship, like, badly, and they can't because they can't find the right person. So like, I
Wait, but listen.
kind of side
Sorry,
with
go
women
ahead.
like that. I side with women who are going through it, who want to be in a partnership or have a relationship with somebody. And then you have the girls on the internet. Then you have the girls on the internet who are like super like out loud with their happy-go-lucky relationship, but you may not even know behind closed doors it may not be that. And like, I feel for women like that who are like literally struggling right now in the dating world.
Let me tell you something. If you are one of those women and you are listening, here's my quick word of advice before we move on to the next topic. Stop looking. Stop looking. Because when you're looking, I don't know what it is about looking, you just don't find it. Let it come to you. It will come to you. Keep focusing on you. Keep focusing on your growth. That energy right there will attract, and like, it's like a magnet, and they just so just do you. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, I have something for you.
Okay.
Do you think it's cooler to appear single online versus actually not be single in real life?
I think people make look being English, press 1. I think people make being single look fun online. And to each his own. Maybe it is fun for them, but I don't know if it's cooler to look single online. I actually never thought about that, but I do think people do a really good job of making it look cool, but I mean, I think it's human nature too that sometimes you look in the mirror, you like, "Damn, I wish I could cuddle right now," you know?
Mhm,
So
mhm. Yeah, I think that overall, what I'm also wanting to echo on our episode today is in relationships, whether you're in one or not, have your own identity, right? You have to be your own person. And I think it echoes a lot where when you're not in a relationship, we wanna still be able to see, like, you still exist as yourself, right? Like, as
Mhm.
your own personal like, your own personal person, like, your own human being, like, we wanna see who you are at your core outside of those relationships. And because I know you mentioned choosing yourself, which is I think is huge. And also, like, when you're not in these relationships, work on yourself. Like, work on the things that you need to work on to be the person that you would wanna date, right? As however that
Mhm.
may look like to you, whether that's, like, doing the work on personal healing, whether that's, like, saying words of affirmation to yourself all the time, every day, that you are worthy of, receiving love in the proper form or in the proper way. Like, I think that we as women just always have to, like, love on ourselves outside of being in those relationships. Like, just really at our core, just show up as ourselves, you know?
Yeah, and I think, just going back to the topic we're talking about, looking at the Christy and Desmond thing, for me, I'm just so proud she chose herself.
Yeah.
Like, I am so happy for her because, I mean, she drew the line and she stuck to it, and it's not an easy thing to go through, just not only publicly, but just privately. It's not easy whatsoever to be with somebody for X amount of years and then everything falls apart. I mean, think about it. Like, there's people moving out the house, there's kids' schedules, like, there's so many different pieces involved. And I will say, like, choosing yourself could very much look different. There are women who choose to stay, but that's still a form of choosing yourself because you're doing what you want to do regardless of what anybody thinks. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, that's what choosing yourself looks like. Doing what you want to do and what's best for you, whether that means to leave or to stay, whatever that looks like. Continue to choose yourself, put yourself first. Everything else will fall into place. So I'm just really proud of her for choosing herself.
Yeah, and I know so many
Go girl.
women are probably inspired by that because it's like it really shows that it's okay to start over. Like, it's okay to
That
rebuild your
too.
life. It's okay to literally not be online and your identity is your relationship. It's you. It's getting back to you, getting back to the things that you love, and just knowing that you should be loved in the proper way. Like, we should never stay in a situation. Like, I also, like, come from the notion that yes, I don't want to believe in divorces, right? But sometimes they have to happen, right? Sometimes people do have to get a divorce because, like, there's no way that we can repair this. So I think we have to be okay with starting over, and that's just really at the core. But this was a really great conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed our chat on this topic. And if there are other topics or things that you guys want us to talk on, please tap into the SpeakPipe. It's on our website, elevators.com. Make sure you guys are commenting, and subscribing to our podcast. This is great.
Yes. We'll catch you guys next time. I need a coffee.
Girl, I just finished my
Bye.
tea, girl. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for watching.